NFL, you've got the 14 teams getting ready for the playoffs. You've got 18 other teams picking up the pieces, and you've got 7 teams looking for coaches, and one coach who is very much in demand. His brother will be coaching this weekend. Obviously, we're talking about John Harbaugh and Jim Harbaugh. Here's Jim Harbaugh meeting with reporters yesterday on the future in coaching of his big brother, John.
He'll be attacking with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind the next opportunity, and there'll be a team. That'll be like a gift, have the best coach, one of the best coaches ever, best coach I know.
No chance he joins you over here?
He'll be a head coach. Yeah, next year we'll be playing against him in some form or fashion, and just as I said, hope that's in the NFC.
It was a surprise when Jim landed in the AFC. Their paths would definitely cross at least once every 3 years. We saw them play one time in 2024. It was a great Monday night game between the Ravens and the Chargers, and that possibility of them meeting in the playoffs was ever present. But we'll see what happens with John Harbaugh. He's going to wait until next week, reportedly, to start taking interviews. There are reports, and I don't know how accurate these are, but there are reports of 9 or more teams being interested in John Harbaugh, which, if we assume all 6 teams other than the Ravens are interested, the ones who have vacancies. Math is usually difficult for me, but that would be 3 teams at least that currently have head coaches that are thinking about what they're going to do next.
Right.
And may do something extreme if they believe they can get John Harbaugh. Now, it's not the way the process is supposed to go. The process is supposed to be you fire your current coach or you don't. And if you do, you're supposed to have a broad, inclusive search that complies with the Rooney Rule. And people get triggered now anytime you mention Rooney Rule. But until the NFL gets rid of it, take it up with them. From our perspective, the rules are the rules, and they're either going to follow them or they aren't. And it wouldn't be the first time that somebody knew damn well who they were going to hire the moment that they fired the coach that they currently have. And it wouldn't be the first time there was a wink nod. That's what Bill Belichick wanted in 2024. He wanted someone to violate the spirit of the Rooney Rule and promise him he'd be the head coach. And when he couldn't get that commitment from the teams he tried to get it from, that's when he went to North Carolina. So, Chris, there's an effort to out the mystery teams. I've heard a few things. I don't know if you have. There's been a report the Dolphins aren't one of them. Then there's a report the Dolphins are. I can't imagine any team putting up their hand and saying we're one of them. That kind of blows the whole strategy.
Right.
But I've heard some things from reliable sources, not to be confused with the usual unreliable sources I deal with. But, yeah, I've heard some stuff, and this weekend could be high stakes for a couple of coaches, just like Sunday night was for John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin. This weekend could be, if we lose, I could be done for a couple of coaches.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, listen, we know he's going to get a job if he wants one. That's undeniable. He's definitely the head of the class as far as the coaching candidates out there right now. Do I buy totally? I don't know about the three teams that are currently have head coaches. I don't know. I don't know enough there. Right? Yeah, I've heard a few rumors and stuff, but nothing that I would put my name to. Also, sometimes, as I know in this, these are things that get started by the agent, and they start saying things to people, and it all just catches fire. And everybody, hey, I heard because the agent said it to create more of a market and more of oh my gosh, he's wanted by everybody. And we know that happens too. So I kind of tread lightly a little bit at first on these type of things before I dive down there. But but I can imagine that. I certainly can. We went through some teams yesterday that we know that would make sense, right? Not in the playoffs, but you could go, okay, I could sit there and understand, right? Some of these teams going, maybe he's available. I'm not in love with my coach. I mean, yeah, there's a few of them out there. I mean, yeah, Miami would be one of those that you would go, all right, I can understand that logically. Okay. After that, the Jets, yeah, Aaron Glenn. I mean, could you understand that? Sure. Yes. I mean, it was a historically bad last month of a season, like one of the worst we've ever seen from any team. So those are two right there that have head coaches that you go. Brian Schottenheimer, again, I'm a big fan of Schottenheimer. I wouldn't say replace him. I thought he did an amazing job in year one, but at the same time, it is John Harbaugh, and who knows? And he hasn't, necessarily etched his name in stone just to say, I'm the Cowboy coach for as long as I want. That hasn't happened. So, yeah, I think it's fair to go through that a little bit and try to figure that out. But I wonder how serious that is, and there is some part of me that wonders if it's not a little bit of, pushing of a narrative a little bit by the Harbaugh camp or his agent and all that too. I can understand that, and that's what he should do in this situation.
Well, I don't know that it is what he should do.
Yeah.
I would be, if I was another coach who had a job and now had to worry about whether or not my owner is talking behind my back to John Harbaugh, I would resent the fact that Brian Harlan and or John Harbaugh are putting out the idea that teams are interested if they're not. There's two different ways to look at this.
Yeah, right.
They're puffing about teams that are interested who have coaches and they really aren't, in order to increase the urgency on the Giants or whoever else may be trying to get John Harbaugh hired. That's one explanation. The other explanation is it's absolutely true. And I said yesterday, hey, Brian Harlan's the one who pulled the pin on this grenade by telling Shefty 7 teams are interested when there's only 6 teams other than the Ravens looking for coaches. And I don't know Brian Harlan. I know people who are connected into the NFL's ecosystem, and people are in a position to know what's really going on behind the curtain.
Right.
And if I told you who told me what I'm about to say, you would say, holy shit, it's true. Watch the Packers, watch the Bills. They lose this weekend, watch what happens next with one of those two teams. The problem is you're not going to have, if there are 2 or 3 teams that currently have coaches who are interested in John Harbaugh, they're all not going to fire their coaches and then go arm wrestle for John Harbaugh. It's only going to be one. The one that ultimately hires him is going to be the one that fires its current coach. Now, it could be, I can't rule out the possibility if the Bills and Packers lose. I can't rule out the possibility they'll both fire their coaches, and whoever doesn't get John Harbaugh will just go get somebody else that they were going to move on anyway. I can't rule that out. So I don't want to say it's only going to be one. But if this is the play, and if it all comes down to what the team does this weekend, that could be what happens next. And if I'm Matt LaFleur or Sean McDermott, I'm pissed that I got to worry about this now, thanks to this news that's been generated directly or indirectly by John Harbaugh.
Yeah, no, I would be too, certainly. And I don't even know if I necessarily agree. And again, I just want to state this clearly. I got a lot of respect for John Harbaugh. I want him to be the head coach of the New York Giants. I don't know if I would just sit there and swap out Matt LaFleur for John Harbaugh or McDermott for John Harbaugh. You're taking a risk to me on that one, for sure. I mean, let's just talk this out a little bit. We're going to take a guy and replace him because he couldn't get over the hump with one of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen. And
I'm not here to defend it.
I'm
just here to
I know
tell
you're
you.
not. I'm just talking. I hear you. That's a little crazy, right? Wait, we're going to take McDermott out because he can't get over the hump with Josh Allen, but we're going to get the guy that couldn't get over the hump with Lamar Jackson. That, to me, doesn't make sense. Along with McDermott being one of the best defensive coaches in football. I mean, come on. The Bills have a top 10 defense. Do you hear that? And most people go, the Bills' defense is even good. I mean, who is anybody on the Bills' defense going to get an all-pro vote? Anybody. Maybe Christian Benford at corner. That speaks to it. Greg Rousseau, maybe as a Pro Bowler, he might have made the Pro Bowl. I can't remember the Pro Bowl. It doesn't matter anymore. But regardless, McDermott to me has been phenomenal, and we've discussed that. And LaFleur, we discussed a little yesterday and some of the things he's had to deal with there too. I just think that's dicey. That's dicey. You're setting yourself up for, wait, we bring in Harbaugh, we got rid of this guy or that guy who was also pretty good, and they're going to be able to go to places and be pretty good too, just like Harbaugh could. But then you bring Harbaugh in there, and if it doesn't work and those other two shine in other places, man, your ass is going to be fired too. You're going to go, well, damn, we gave up him to bring him, and so I just don't know. I would be shocked by that, but I wouldn't be shocked, I guess what I say. It's the NFL. It's the way it is, and Harbaugh, he has won a Super Bowl, and we know he can certainly get an organization going and running it the right way.
And look, maybe Harbaugh can do more with Allen than he could have done with Lamar Jackson, and maybe some other coach is going to do more with Lamar Jackson than John Harbaugh.
Yeah, that could be too. You're right. It's about people and the matches, and sometimes the match doesn't work and you go somewhere else and the match does work, and it all starts to kind of, the stars align, and all of a sudden, boom, we got a good football team, and here we go. So you're right. Sometimes that is the case. I hear you there. I'm certainly not trying to poo-poo it. I'm just speaking it out a little bit as I sit here, because I've been thinking about this crap too, really, and I'm just kind of flushing it out like two guys talking football and trying to say some things out loud to go, wait, does that make sense? Wait, are we really going to do that? So we'll see where it goes, but it's certainly going to be one of the biggest stories in the sport here coming into the weekend and after the weekend.
This is one of those read the tea leaves moments, or between the tea leaves, as the case may be.
Yeah.
The fact that John Harbaugh isn't going to interview with anyone until next week
tells you, right?
Would suggest.
Right, exactly.
He's waiting to see what happens this weekend.
Exactly.
And what the aftermath of this weekend's games will be.
Right.
Why
I'm with
wouldn't
you.
you get started?
Exactly. I mean, he just said, hey, I want a week off. I've been going at it for 18 years, a few days with the family. But I think the logic is exactly what you're saying. Like, that's what I thought. Oh, whoa, he's going to wait till next
that's
week.
That's not attacking the day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. Taking a few days while everybody else is interviewing for these jobs is not how the Harbaughs are wired.
Exactly.
They're not wired to take a day off. They're wired to roll up the sleeves and get to work. And when the job changes, your work changes, and you never say, I'm going to take a couple of days off here while everybody else is on the carousel and everybody else is trying to get these jobs. Like, hey, if he really wants the Giants job, I better get in there and interview before they fall in love with someone else.
Yeah.
That
well,
would be
he knows he's a top
concern if I'm
commodity
him.
too, right? I mean, I do think he knows that. He knows right now he's the belle of the ball. So he is one that can kind of call shots where teams, I think he is so much the belle of the ball that nobody's going to make a drastic decision until they get to talk to John Harbaugh themselves in person. I will say that. But I'm with you all the way, Mike. And the logic, when I heard that he was waiting until next week, I went, oh, wait, well, there's got to be is there going to be a playoff team that's going to make a move here? I'm right there with you. I was thinking the same thing.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.